Ever wonder what happens when three brothers fall for the same woman? Today, we're diving deep into the sweeping 1994 epic, Legends of the Fall. This isn't just a movie. It's a saga of love, war, betrayal, and the untamed spirit of the American West. So grab your popcorn, and let's journey back to early 20th century Montana. The story revolves around the Ludlow family, led by the patriarch, Colonel William Ludlow. Disgusted with the U.S. government's treatment of Native Americans, he's retreated to a remote ranch in Montana to raise his three sons, Alfred, Tristan, and Samuel. Each son is distinctly different. Alfred, the eldest, is responsible, practical, and abides by the rules. He's the dutiful son, always seeking his father's approval. Then there's Tristan, the middle child, wild and passionate, raised with the Cree traditions of his friend, One Stab. He's more in tune with nature and the raw emotions of life than with societal norms. He's the untamable spirit, the heart of the story. And finally, there's Samuel, the youngest, the idealist, the golden boy, naive and full of dreams, deeply loved by his brothers and father. The idyllic, if rugged, life on the ranch is shattered when Samuel brings home his fiancée, the beautiful and intelligent Susanna Finkenan. From the moment she arrives, the delicate balance of the family is thrown into turmoil. Alfred is immediately captivated by her grace and sophistication, seeing in her a life he desires. But it's Tristan, with his brooding intensity and untamed nature, who forms an unspoken magnetic connection with Susanna. She is drawn to his wild spirit, a stark contrast to her gentle fiancé, Samuel. You can feel the tension in the air, a storm brewing on the horizon. This storm breaks with the outbreak of World War I. Despite their father's fierce opposition, the patriotic Samuel is determined to enlist and fight for his country. Feeling a duty to protect their youngest brother, both Alfred and Tristan enlist as well. The three brothers are thrust from the serene mountains of Montana into the brutal, muddy trenches of Europe. The war scenes are harrowing, stripping away the romance and revealing the true horror of conflict. The brothers' promise to protect Samuel becomes the central focus of their time at war. Tragically, despite Tristan's desperate efforts, Samuel is killed in a hail of gunfire during a reconnaissance mission. The loss is devastating and sends shockwaves through the family. Tristan, consumed by guilt and grief, takes a scalp from a German soldier in a fit of rage, an act that reflects his deep connection to his Cree upbringing but horrifies the other soldiers. This moment marks a significant turning point for him. The light in his eyes seems to dim, replaced by a profound darkness and a deep-seated sorrow that will haunt him for years. The surviving brothers return home, but they are not the men who left. The ranch, once a place of peace, is now heavy with grief. Alfred, ever the pragmatist, tries to move on. He confesses his love for Susanna, hoping to build a future with her and step out of his brother's shadows. But Susanna, though grieving for Samuel, is still undeniably drawn to Tristan. Their shared sorrow and the powerful undercurrent of their attraction finally boil over. They begin a passionate affair, a desperate attempt to find solace in each other's arms. Their love is raw and all-consuming, but it's built on a foundation of grief and guilt. Alfred, seeing the woman he loves in the arms of his brother, is heartbroken and betrayed. This act deepens the rift between the two brothers, a chasm that had been forming since childhood. Unable to live in Tristan's shadow any longer, Alfred leaves the ranch to make his own way in the world. He moves to the city of Helena, enters politics, and becomes a successful and influential man, embracing the very society his father rejected. Meanwhile, the wild spirit that Susanna fell in love with is the same spirit that cannot be tamed. The ghosts of the war and Samuel's death plague Tristan. He is restless, unable to find peace on the ranch or in Susanna's love. Believing he is a curse to those he loves, he tells Susanna, "All we had is dead, as I am dead." He leaves, promising to return but ultimately embarking on a years-long journey around the world, trying to outrun his inner demons. He sends Susanna a letter telling her to marry another man. His departure leaves Susanna utterly devastated, alone on the ranch with a grieving Colonel Ludlow. Years pass. Alfred's political career flourishes. Susanna, believing Tristan will never return, eventually gives in to Alfred's persistent, stable love and marries him. They build a life together, but it's a life shadowed by what could have been. Susanna never truly gets over Tristan, and a quiet sadness permeates their marriage. Colonel Ludlow, in the meantime, suffers a stroke that leaves him partially paralyzed and unable to speak clearly, a physical manifestation of the family's brokenness. Then, one day, Tristan returns. He's a changed man, seemingly having found some measure of peace. But his return throws the family into chaos once more. Seeing Susanna married to his brother is a painful reminder of everything he lost. He tries to settle down, and he finds a new love with Isabel too, the young daughter of the family's ranch hand, who has loved Tristan since she was a child. They get married and have 2 children. For a brief period, it seems like Tristan has finally found the happiness and stability he's been searching for. He becomes a loving husband and father, and the ranch once again feels like a home. But this is a tragedy, a legend of the fall. The world of politics and business, represented by Alfred, encroaches on Tristan's newfound peace. Tristan gets involved in bootlegging during the Prohibition era, putting him in direct conflict with the corrupt O'Banion brothers, who have ties to law enforcement and politicians, including Alfred. The conflict escalates, and in a tragic, heartbreaking moment, Isabel too is accidentally killed by a stray bullet from a corrupt police officer working for the O'Banions. This final loss shatters Tristan completely. The wild beast within him, which he had managed to tame, is unleashed with a vengeance. He brutally avenges Isabel's death, taking out the O'Banion brothers and the officer responsible. But this act of revenge forces him to become a fugitive, forever on the run from the law. Back in Helena, Susanna, trapped in a loveless marriage and tormented by her unending love for Tristan and the guilt over her choices, can no longer bear the pain. She takes her own life, a final tragic casualty of the family's intertwined fates. Alfred finds her and is left to raise Tristan's children, finally taking on the role of the responsible family man he always wanted to be, but at an unimaginable cost. The film's narration, provided by One Stab, brings us to the end of the legend. We learn that Tristan lived a long life in the wild, becoming a myth in the mountains. The final scene shows an elderly Tristan in 1963 confronting a bear in the woods. One Stab tells us it was a good death, as Tristan fights the bear and finally meets his end, not at the hands of men but in the embrace of the wild nature he was always a part of. Legends of the Fall is a powerful emotional roller coaster. It's a story about how love can both save and destroy, how the bonds of family can be stretched to their breaking point, and how some spirits are just too wild to ever be tamed. The stunning cinematography of the Montana landscape serves as a character itself, beautiful and unforgiving, just like the lives of the Ludlows. It's a film that stays with you, a true modern classic. What do you think? Which brother's path resonated with you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite films. See you next time.